What an interesting twist. The fact that Coutinho has gone on loan to Bayern puts into the situation of Neymar and his future. So I thought I'll share with you some of my thoughts on some of the things I found out from recent days, starting with the fact that actually the agreement between Barcelona and Bayern Munich took place a week ago. This is a week before the Coutinho deal to go on loan to Bayern was announced, a week before. Then of course it needed the agreement of the player, but clubs had agreed it a week ago. What happened in that week? Well, for instance, Barcelona offered Coutinho to PSG as part of the deal for Neymar. So it was Coutinho plus 80 to 100 million euros. Then there was other possibilities, an exchange of loan deals, Neymar going to Barcelona and Coutinho to PSG, plus money. There were other names that were mentioned but was not agreed, like Semedo. Barcelona didn't want to get rid of him. Rakitic was mentioned too. In any case, it seemed to be still a big gap between PSG and Barcelona. It was a very visible trip that Barcelona made to Paris. Everybody knew about it, everybody knew what plane they were getting to come back, and it seemed like Barcelona wanted everybody to know that they're trying to get Neymar. But I'm starting to think that perhaps there is a lot of people, including very important people at Barcelona, that don't want Neymar to come to Barcelona. One of the reasons is because of that, because they were thinking of Plan B for Coutinho, agreeing with Bayern a loan deal pending on the agreement of the player, who eventually got convinced. There was a trip from directors of Bayern to Barcelona 2 or 3 days ago before he was announced, and Coutinho was convinced. Coutinho was convinced as well, I'm sure, by the fact that it seemed the possibility of going to PSG is not as robust as others will make you think. And why is that? Well, I'm starting to think, as I say, that the directors of Barcelona don't want Neymar to come to Barcelona. Why? There's two financial reasons. One of them, the percentage of wages of the income that comes to Barcelona is about 60%. UEFA recommends about 70%. Basically, it would put so much strain to having to pay Neymar, say, 23 million euros net, so much strain that it would be impossible to balance the books. There's something else. Before the 1st of June, when the accounts get closed, Barcelona has to be in the black. Because if they are in the red, the ones to pay are the directors. That's the rules of the club. If they are in debt, comparing the money that comes in with the money that goes out, is the directors that have to pay from their own pocket. They obviously don't want to do that. I believe Barcelona has to get benefits for about 60 million euros before the 1st of June. 60 million euros. It means they have to sell somebody, not buy, because if they actually buy Neymar now, say for a player or two and 100 million euros, that means that Barcelona will have to raise about 170, 160 million euros before the 1st of June. It's a bit complicated, but what I'm trying to say is that whatever Barcelona spends now, it will go into the red, which means that that difference between the money that comes in and the money that goes out will have to be paid by the directors. The directors are very nervous. They don't want that strain on themselves. So, despite the fact that within the camp, in the squad, key players of Barcelona wanted Neymar to come and advised the president that instead of putting the 120 million euros of Griezmann, they should have put it on, or they should put it in Neymar. This is before Griezmann got confirmed. Despite the fact that the directors of Barcelona were telling the players, no, we haven't signed Neymar yet. When he was signed, some of the players of Barcelona felt deceived and were upset because on number one, they had backed Griezmann last season, last summer, and he didn't come, so they were upset about that. But secondly, they felt deceived by the directors when they said that they had not signed him, when actually they had. Some even say that by March the agreement was in place. I can tell you, this is Griezmann, And I can tell you that a month and a half into the season, last season, having signed a new contract with Atletico Madrid, Griezmann felt like I made a mistake here. So he called Barcelona. He called Barcelona to say, "Can I come again?" Barcelona kept quiet. They just kept calm. Eventually, everything was agreed. But let's say that the right message did not get to the players at that point. The directors kept saying, no, nothing has been confirmed, nothing is done, nothing is signed. But it was. Yes, some players would have liked Neymar to arrive instead of Griezmann. Now, obviously, it's up to the directors if they want to make that effort of bringing Neymar. But as I say, it seems like a lot of them don't want that to happen. But they wanted to make it look like it is something they wanted to do. Hence, the publicized trip to Paris and the information saying we've tried, but PSG don't want to negotiate with what we're offering. I'll add something else. Spoken to people that are in the negotiations for Neymar to leave PSG, and they keep insisting on one thing: Neymar will play in Spain next season. I'm the messenger. This is what they're saying: Neymar will play in Spain next season. I think when they say that is because they feel that Barcelona may just still make a little effort or a big effort to get Neymar. They may still not get him, but Real Madrid are ready, according to them, to make the step of getting Neymar, including Florentino Perez has got a loan ready to make the financial effort of getting Neymar to Real Madrid. It is not something that Zidane has asked for. Probably he feels he doesn't need it, but football is a state of the mind, as Jorge Valdano used to say. And now Real Madrid is a little bit depressed. Let's see what happened at the weekend. I'm talking the morning after Barcelona lost against Atletico de Bilbao in the league. So a victory of Real Madrid may allow people to see things differently. But quite clearly, without Hazard, who's injured, Carvajal is suspended, it's going to be an 11 that we all recognize, with 90% of players that were there last season and failed last season and were very unprofessional last season. So it is not an exciting season for Real Madrid fans, but if Neymar comes in, that mood can change, and Florentino Perez is willing to make that step, because from Real Madrid point of view it will be like stealing somebody to Barcelona. From Barcelona point of view, it will be not great news, I don't think, if Neymar comes, because it will unbalance what's there. I feel it will affect Griezmann, Dembele, who weren't great actually against Atletico Bilbao, but have got room for improvement. But it will be even worse if Neymar doesn't come to Barcelona, because he'll go to Real Madrid, and that will leave a mark. But it will leave also the finances of Barcelona in a better situation than if Neymar comes. So there's all those angles that I wanted to share with you. I do feel that people in Barcelona key people in Barcelona don't want Neymar to come. These are people in the offices, in the changing room. Yes, there's a lot of players that want Neymar to come back. But it just seems like Barcelona have gone from being favourites to get him to taking a step back. It's all been very quiet since the trip to Paris. PSG will keep moving the goalpost, may even ask for Dembele and 150 million, whatever, because they'll make life difficult to Barcelona. They don't want to make it easy for Barcelona. But it does seem like that can give the perfect excuse for Barcelona to say, look, we tried, but it's not possible. That's what I feel at the moment. Let's see how it all evolves. I just wanted to share that with you. Meanwhile, I'm just going to get a plane, because I'm going to see Beagles Raid United today. We're playing away at London Colney. So, see you then. Bye.